Ladies and gentlemen, I took a peek into depravity, man. I did it for you guys. I took a peek into probably one of the most depraved fucking Discord streams I've seen in a long time, and that would be the D4vd Reddit. It still exists, you know, and that's why I always say that that digital footprint is a mother effer. Because whatever you leave up there, even if you delete yourself, you terminate yourself from the entire online, it stays there. And we have a bunch of messages to read through today. I'm talking archived messages from out the ass of David's server. And the more I read through this, the more I read through these messages, the more he reminds me of that woman, Callinger, or whatever her name is, Miranda Sings. She's an old YouTube OG. She used to do the little ukulele thing. I'll show you an example.
Hey, it's been a while since you saw my face. I haven't been doing so great, so I took a little break.
Okay, I'm not gonna destroy your eardrums by playing that absolute masterpiece for you. But basically, Miranda Sings was this OG YouTuber, and I think it was a Discord group as well. She had a group of underaged fans that she had in her Discord, and she would tell them the craziest sexual things you could ever think about. I'm talking, it's borderline grooming. And obviously, she comes onto the internet, gives the worst apology known to man with this ukulele song, and life moves on. She ruins her career. That's that. Going into David's server, it's almost a 1-to-1. I'm talking, it's probably even worse. He's talking with these underage individuals. They're clearly young, talking about sex, talking about bisexuality, talking about asexuality, talking about pulling just all types of shit, man. It's wild. David's been openly a PDF file for years. And if it wasn't Celeste, folks, if it wasn't Celeste, it would have been Jane. It would have been Jane Doe. It would have been some other girl that was of a certain age. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the whole David server. A little jumbled up, but you'll see what I mean once we get into it. Let's check this out. All right, so I want to start off with the first clip that we have here, ladies and gentlemen. Someone says, a Viper EX says, David's a bottom. And then David responds with the emoji from Lucky, shh, or I should say the gift from Lucky. So, I mean, you can already feel the type of conversation that's being had in this type of server, right? We move forward. Someone responds to no poetic vulgarity on Spotify. And then David responds, got hacked and it was up for a day or two, waiting for a specific something to happen before I drop it. So I think that's a song that they were talking about, and someone hacked it and changed the title, right? So David's talking about that. This is where things start to get kind of odd. Now, I will keep it real. I have a friend group, and we'll say some gay shit all day in that motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? We'll say some gay shit. We'll say some lesbian shit. We'll do the most, right? But the key differences with our friend group is that we're all almost 30. We're all pushing 30. Everybody. There's no 15, 14, 12-year-olds in that chat. It's grown men in that motherfucker. The problem with David is he's mixing and mingling with kids having this type of vulgar conversation. It's always a recipe for disaster. It says from deleted user, they sent an attachment. David responds, who is this and why is he not kissing me right now? And I'm assuming the attachment is this man writes here. And then Adrian responds, I'll turn gay for you. And then somebody responds to what David says earlier, and he says, help. The person's name is SYD. Does that mean suck your dick? I don't know. Anyway, but that's page number 3 so far. That's screenshot number 3 so far. And we're already talking about how David's a bottom and how we'll be turning gay for David. I don't know if Adrian's of age. And we already know that let's not say most, but we already know that a lot of the individuals within this Discord were minors. The men who go down into the earth and get coal, they were those people. So let's keep going. So now the thread continues, and if you guys know anything about Discord, it's like there'll be certain chat rooms, right? There'll be just chatting, and there'll be announcements, and there'll be other little chat rooms that you could go and visit. This would be in the just chatting section. So it's just a stream of people talking endlessly. David responds, who is this? David said, who is this and why is he not kissing me right now? Another person responds saying, I love you, David. Another person responds to that again. Someone says, degrade me. So David is like, he's the popular one. He runs the server and all his little fans are there. So if he makes a comment, these are all the replies like, oh, I love you, degrade me. I'll be gay for you. I almost call him Peter. What's his name? I'll be gay for you, David. It's some sick shit up in here. But let me try to get through more of this shit. And then we still have people meet riding him. Somebody says, Davey says, David can Rizzo my grandma. David responds, for real. SYD says, Riz up my mom. She's single and ready to mingle. And then somebody responds to what David said, can you say hi to my mom? And then David just says, hi, mom. I'll tell you one thing. David's not interested in your mom. David's not interested in your mom. I'll tell you that much, okay? So you're barking up the wrong tree a bit there. It continues. The person says, thank you for real. And he's appreciating David for saying thank you, for saying hi to his mom. And now this is where things start to get a little interesting. We have Giovanni hop into the chat. They say, yo, David, how many bitches you got now after music? David responds, none. Probably why my music is so sad. Someone responds to Giovanni, someone didn't watch the Twitch last night. Or someone didn't watch the Twitch live. Giovanni responds to David now saying lies. So again, this is all a community. I might mess up because there's so many arrows and responses, but the idea is that this is one big community discussion. And if you pay attention to the little arrows, people are having their little micro conversations. Within that micro conversation, someone brings up, oh, you must have not seen that live stream on Twitch last night. What do you think they're talking about? Now, I'm not going to go back and try to triangulate the time and the date, but it's seeming like it's probably one of those times David brought Celeste on to do their little close friend live streams. This guy was out here monetizing off of his yay high girlfriend. Ain't that some shit? Because the person says, he says, probably why my music is so sad. I have no girlfriends. The person says, someone didn't watch the Twitch last night. Giovanni responds to David saying lies. So let's continue. Now another person hops into this chat, kind of trolling a little bit. Optimized Fork COC with a K at the end. They said, I crave David's sperm. Deleted user joins the conversation, responding to him saying he has no girls. And they respond saying, I laughed my ass off, so sorry. Now, mind you, this deleted user, we've already had the idea and the assumption that it could be Celeste amongst the deleted users having these conversations. It's kind of interesting that this deleted user comes up to that specific statement out of all the other statements David's been making. David says he has no girlfriend. Deleted user pops up like, huh, I laughed my ass off about that, you fucking liar. That's what it's reading like to me. But let's keep it real. I honestly think that David met Celeste off of Fortnite and put her on Discord probably to join all his other little yay high girlfriends in Discord. Like that was his congregation, right? That was his congregation of yay high individuals. Yay high means minor, right? So Celeste probably was getting a little jealous within this group chat, within this server, knowing that David has a lot of yay high individuals running around. Listen, it's all coming together. It's all coming together. Because you have some randomized dude saying I crave David's sperm. There's a whole bunch of horny teenagers in this Discord. And David's a sick bastard. So David then goes on a rant, trying to explain himself, I'm assuming. He says, I'm serious, bro. Girls my age are the R word. They're retarded, for lack of better words. And David responds to someone saying not at all. Probably saying not at all, definitely doesn't have a girl. And then he says, but most girls his age are retarded. SYD says, men my age are worse, David. And then somebody else responds to him saying girls his age are stupid. Davey responds saying real. Then somebody else joins in on the conversation saying, bro, I love me some D4vd. I think this is later on that day. Somebody responds to David to the same thing where he says he doesn't like girls his age. He says, nah, it's the guys, I swear. Someone responds, on God, bruh. Giovanni continues saying, maybe not, but clearly you got men after you. And I think that's her responding to like David saying that, he doesn't really, he might not be rocking that way, but he might be rocking that way. He's very teetering on what his sexuality is, and you'll start to see a lot more of that throughout these text messages. So now David responds to SYD saying that men his age are worse. David says, swear. Now, I mean, you would know, David. Some random guy named Andre responds saying, damn, you trying to be like Landon and go for older women? And then somebody else responds to David saying he don't like girls his age, saying, I'm a man, but we can still F. We can still fuck. Then David responds to the person asking if he likes older women, saying, definitely. I beg to differ, Sir David. You definitely like older women. Your track record doesn't really track. It seems like you like boys and girls. And when I say boys, I'm not talking about the gender of like male, female. I'm talking boys. Where does boy end and man begin? You like boy. You like girl. You don't like older women. That's probably part of his cover. Like he's like, oh yeah, I just, you never see me with anybody my age because I have to hide my forbidden love with my cougar. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here, gang. But anyways, we continue. So David says he swears that guys are very immature, whatever. SYD responds, they all expect girls to have the biggest boobs and butt and then be thick in the thighs while also being less than 100 pounds with a flat stomach. Like, let's keep it a buck. Oh, we got ourselves a fucking feminist over here. Jesus Christ. David responds, our generation just sucks. Listen to these fucking, well, I can't call them incels. David's definitely not an incel, but the one talking about guys just looking for big boobs and butt, he sounds just like an incel. He sounds like a teenager who never got no pussy before. Just the way he talks about it. And David's holding these deep, introspective conversations with teenagers. Man, listen, this Discord, this is just the first little snippet of it. There's a lot of it. So if you guys want me to go through more, we can. But I think this Discord only scratches the surface on how sick David really was. He probably had a whole phone full of let's not say the whole word. He had a whole phone full of people yay high. That's what I'm going to start calling them. People yay high. That means minor. Okay, that's the last time I'm going to say it. Let's keep going, though. So David says their generation just sucks. Okay, that sucks. Giovanni now continues into this conversation and says, I kind of feel bad for you, David, because now it's just harder to find someone who truly loves you, not because you're famous. Maybe you should make a song about that. Wow, so deep. And then somebody responds to David saying the generation sucks, saying, bro, what generation doesn't? Someone says, you should make a song out of that. David responds, I already did. Of course you did, you pretentious fuck. Let's keep going. Because as these Discord messages come through, we're going to meet a whole cast of characters that you didn't even know existed. And some of these characters know a lot more than they're letting off. Day-to-day conversation. I mean, people knew about Celeste Tattoo before anybody knew about this server. knew about Celeste's tattoos and her hair and the trips before anybody knew about it. Before, I'm pretty sure before even prosecution or detectives knew about it. So we're going to come across some characters, and they all have these little funny, cutesy bootsy names. We're going to run across some characters that need to be in jail probably. But let's keep going. So we continue on in this cesspool of Discord communication. David says he already made a song about it. Rat responds, I don't know what ILY means. I love you? I don't know. ILY, Rat says. David says it's on my second project that's never going to come out because I'm in prison. I'm never going to have a career anymore after this. David says it's on my second project. People our age just don't appreciate love at all. Yeah, and that's why you have to go and find someone that's not your age, huh, David? And typically when you hear that, you think like, oh, you're looking for someone older, right? Nah, David wanted somebody yay high. That's what he wanted. That was his what's the word? That was his way of combating the problem. That love don't really exist. The generation's fucked up. That was his way of combating that issue. He's just going to go lower in age. He says, people our age just don't appreciate love at all. SYD says, seriously, bro. They all cheat or only want sex. What does David want? What does David do? He's a cheater too. Shut the fuck up. Deleted user responds saying, depends on who you're with. David says, oh no, it's another response to what he says. That's a bar. Make a song about it. Giovanni says, honestly, one of the ups and downs of becoming famous, you know? David responds, not everything is about that. I'm not even famous, LMAO. And you know, that was true. When he said that shit, he was not famous. He was not famous. You know? But he's famous now. No, let's not say that. He's infamous now. So, you know, you're grinding your way up there slowly. You're trying to get famous. You're one of the most infamous people in America now. So I would say just take that as a W. So now people are just glazing him. I feel like David really went into this Discord to kind of get his ego stroked a little bit. So it's seeming like someone says, not everything is about that. I'm not even famous. That's what he says. Then someone responds, to us you are. David, to us you're famous. We love you, David. Fucking weirdos. Anyway, someone else responds as well. You famous in my eyes, Pookie Bear. Rat responds, I love you. You amazing. Now go to bed. It's past your bedtime. See, for all we know, Rat with that purple logo who David be responding to every once in a while, that could be another Celeste. That could be a girl who's about to go to her bedtime. It's 9:30. She has to go to school in the morning talking to David. Go to sleep, Pookie. So all I'm saying is that as we go further, man, you're going to start to see some messages, and you're just going to start praying to yourself that these people were of age. I'm going to show you one more thing before we get up out of here. Now, I want to leave it at this cliffhanger. Somebody, I love Danny Phantom, says, hello, kitty girl. Damage for real? Don't know what that means. But then deleted user, I think, reposts what somebody says here, and we don't get to see their name. But it says this. I missed you so much I couldn't handle myself from crying because you were there for me and looked out for me. I missed you so much I didn't know how much I cried when you blocked me because you were the only person that I wanted to talk to, and you still are. I love you so much. I don't know what I'll do without you in my life right now. I was nothing when you blocked me. This is all one run-on sentence. Crazy. I was nothing when you blocked me. I CUT myself for days after that one single day. I just couldn't handle myself because you meant so much to me. I don't know if I'm still an option to be your girlfriend since you're close to another girl, but just know I miss you so much. Landon. And then there's a little Hello Kitty emoji at the bottom. So it makes me feel like, you know, it has something to do with David because he loved Hello Kitty, but the person said Landon, so I'm not sure. But I'm going to leave it right there. The fact that people are, you know, kids are on this Discord dropping stuff about self-harm, talking about how they want to get David's sperm and how they'll be gay for David. I feel like there's some investigation that needs to be done deeper into this shit. And trust me, there are pages and pages and pages of it. So if you guys want me to do an actual deep dive, hit the like button, hype the video as usual, and put in the comment section if you want me to really, dig deeper into this. But until then, folks, stay inside, stay safe. I love y'all. Go check out the second channel. I posted something really interesting up there I think you guys are going to like. It's called AG Tactical Clips, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.